got a lot of people that look up to him.
I mean,
he's going to stop the whole thing.
When you look at something like this, Kobe, it's like, what I'm seeing is two sides of a coin, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to agree with you, but a lot of people are also probably going to say, if this is allowed to slide, wouldn't everyone get up and slap David Oscar on stage?
No.
You understand? Like,
David Oscar watching you.
So it's like, because comedy is already a difficult craft. It's not easy. You know, sometimes you have to watch what you say and who you're saying it to. Doesn't that side of the spectrum?
So like I said, I mean, he himself came out to withdraw from the board, from the academy. And there's been a lot of backlashes. Netflix. So what I'm saying is that is enough. Unless, of course, they want to tell me that they want to end his career. Those commentators, those who are
heartbreaking, man.
Yes, that'd be heartbreaking. You understand? And of course, so I feel that enough. I mean, he's come out to apologize, number one. Now, Netflix, the academy, that should end there. Let's move forward.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, and he's got a lot of things to give us. Yeah. So, if the academy, if I know
they're watching.
They are watching.
The academy is watching our show, man.
They are streaming on Facebook. So we'll beg them. I mean, it's okay. It's enough.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's learned a lot from this.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming. I can't agree what he did. I can't agree what he did because I mean that was just too much. But
it was too much.
But I mean, we're human beings, and from a humanitarian perspective,
point of view, yes.
You know, I think there's been conversations going on between Chris and Will. So let's just see how it goes, and hopefully it doesn't get to that extent.
Yes.
From where
and Chris himself also came out to apologize for also creating that content. That's
not easy being a comedian, man.
It's not easy. Are you a comedian?
No. I just like to laugh at stuff.
Just say something about me right now.
No. Hey, these guys can knock me out. But anyways, carrying on. That's happening there. And another interesting story that came to mind. You know about the whole Black Lives Matter movement. A lot of mixed race, the minority, blacks have been going through so much. So that's one thing on its own. So the Black Lives Matter movement comes up. Fast forward, the people behind the movement, the organization set this up. And apparently, some funds that were allocated to this movement to support blacks, to support young kids, to support the average black man and woman going through hardship. Some funds have been, how do I put this? They've been taken to themselves and they've been spent unwisely, not directing it at the movement. So I've heard $6 million has been spent, and the lady involved, one of the co-founders, has come out and said that's not the case, but per what we've heard. Now, generally, when it comes to these movements, these Black Lives Matter movement, these people are going through things. What's your take on this? Are people taking advantage of movements and what people are going through?
First of all, it's always good to come together to form a movement, because at the end of the day, you fight for something. So we should also cast our minds back of the results that they got from that movement. Was it negative? Was it positive? Apparently, it was positive. The whole world jumped into it, and we all said that what they did was wrong. Now, fast forward, it is up to the movement to be responsible and to be disciplined. Because apparently they were sending money to them to, okay, so take care of this, take care of this.
Yeah.
Accountability. If we don't make some of these things serious and be disciplined, then the white folks will come and say, you say Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, we gave you money. Because at the end of the day,
some white people
exactly, that's what I'm coming to say. Exactly. I mean, you don't expect only black folks to send money or to contribute. There were a lot of white folks who stood against it and said, no, that was wrong. Even though it was a white man who did that, it was wrong. They contributed. So, blacks, what are we doing? This was, for me, was a clear opportunity to build on it, to build like sort of a foundation, build the empire to a larger. Because this thing, I'm sure, this is not going to be the first, this is not going to be the last. So why don't you create that movement? That at the end of the day, you even use that money to impact the black community. You get me? Because there are a lot of people, black men and women, or the blacks who are in this Western world who are struggling in terms of education. We watch videos where some blacks are sleeping outside at the train station, at the bus station. So you create a whole bigger picture in using that money for. Now, there's going to be some loss of trust.
That's crazy.
Anytime you come out, and anytime there's a bigger issue and you come out to say that, hey, we are the Black Lives Matter movement. So and so is happening. One of our colleagues was dead. Let's put some money together. No.
Yeah.
You are in Ghana. Perhaps you never even contributed, but you contributed with your heart, and you've heard this breaking news. It is going to hurt you. Yeah. And again, like I said, accountability. Among the movements, who was holding them accountable? Who was making sure that the money that was contributed to them was making or was going to the right places?
Yeah. What was meant for, basically.
Yes. And the family of Floyd. That's also another conversation. Because, for instance, if, let's say, Floyd was my brother, or Floyd is your brother, and you wake up in the morning and there's some Black Lives Matter movement comes out and say that, okay, so we are the movement. Are you telling me that Floyd don't have family members? Then I should also blame them. I'll blame them. Yeah. Because the family of Floyd are supposed to come out to tell them that, yo, even though you guys stood up for a family, you can't just misuse the money. Yeah. Did they create some sort of foundation for Floyd? I don't know. I'm yet to find out. Yeah. But I think that it was so wrong. If what the story is saying is true,
if it's true,
it's wrong for them to just misuse the money for their selfish interest. Next time they should look at the bigger picture, and people should hold them accountable.
I mean, like you said rightly, so there's a major loss of trust because I mean, most people probably didn't contribute via money, but sent out tweets and spoke about these things, and it trickles down to other movements that is supposed to empower human beings. But is there a way forward out of this? Because perception. Yeah, because perception. Because I mean, you see on Twitter now, people are going through stuff and they're tweeting for funds, and someone is going to use this as an excuse to say, "I ain't putting my money into that." What if it doesn't go to that?
Exactly.
So, is there a way out of this? Because if the gatekeepers are not supporting what they say they're supporting, what's the way forward? Now everyone is going to just mind their business.
Yes. So now the way forward is that I think that anytime such movements comes out, we should find a way, we should have a body or we should have an institution that will really check them. Yeah. I don't know which body can check them, but so far as it has got to do with humanitarian and maybe that body can call them to order and say that even though we are not going to touch the money, but you're going to make sure that you use the money for the right thing.
Nice one, nice one. I definitely agree. So let's see how that goes. I'm sure that story is going to develop. And he rightly said it's about humanity and humanitarian efforts, basically. I want to know, are you a fan of the whole Asaka movement? Do you love it?
Yes, of course. I'm a music lover. Just that I have not some conversations in the news lately about the fact that
that's what we're going to talk about.
They don't feature artists, they don't go for interviews, and the whole... I don't like bad energy. So
okay, so the angle I'm going to take this from is, there are artists who don't traditionally go the route of a rapper. Let's look at T.I. T.I. never had tattoos, but he was T.I.
Yes, clean.
Kanye West came out in the era where everybody was a gangster rapper, but he was like a cool kid. Come to Ghana, Sarkodie doesn't have tattoos. He has no piercings, but he's one of the biggest rappers on the continent. Yes. Now, looking at what Asaka is going through, there have been complaints that they don't necessarily feature outside. I've never met them. They don't do a lot of features. They don't go for interviews. They don't go for shows and performances. FaZe said he wanted to work with them, an artist. And he was told that they don't work with, or they don't do as many collaborations as you'd expect, per what we've heard. Is there an excuse to be made, or a case to be made for them and say, okay, this is who they are. This is their brand. But they're still releasing good content. Or do you think, no, once you're an artist, you have to put yourself out there. This is going to affect your craft. What's your take on this?
Thank you so much. When you go to the Western world, the ecosystem works. But when you come to Ghana, we are now trying to build a solid ecosystem. In the Western world, Kanye can probably say that I've released an album, no interview. Hey, no interview. The consumers are still going to listen to it. Yeah. Jay-Z will release a record and say, I'm not going for any tour. I'm not going to feature. This year, no featuring. And industry or gatekeepers are not going to blacklist him because the ecosystem is working. You understand? Yeah. Kanye or T.I. will say that this year, I'm not going to feature anybody. I'm not going to collaborate with anybody. and DJs or industry players will understand. But in our parts of the world, the narrative is different. If you're an artist and you don't go for an interview, you have a problem with the ecosystem. Which people am I talking about? The presenter, who is under the ecosystem, the DJ, the blogger, the presenter, because probably he or she has not even encountered you before. But because he heard that Asaka boys don't like interviews, then we add emotions, and I'll come there. We seem to add a lot of emotions when we are dealing with our artists. If that is what they will stand for, number one, our country or our environment is different. That is probably where I will plead with Asaka guys to say that, hey, guys, if you are to find yourself, say, in the States or in the UK, an artist will go for an interview like once in his, like the whole year, because it is planned. Yeah. They have only one interview. Yeah. And they are still going to support. But in Ghana, Asaka guys, sit down. Is the narrative the same as the Western world? It's different. So now you tone down to move with the language. You might not like what is happening, but for Christ's sake,
a sacrifice. So
sacrifice. Because it is believed that if you are an emerging artist in Ghana, you need to go through some of this process. You release the record, you go for an interviews back to back to back, you sacrifice and jump on shows for free. And these guys have also started trying to say that that is not our ideology. That is not our philosophy. Yeah. We want to change the narrative. Regardless of how you want the industry to treat us, we want it this way. Whether we are huge, we are among the A-list artists or not, when you call us, pay us before we perform.
Is there a case to be made there? That's what I'm asking.
That is what I'm saying. The case is that...
Because Kobe, I mean, apart from what we're speaking about now, I've never met them again. But I love them. I love their music.
Of course,
and I love to
them.
speak to them. But we hear they're not being paid enough for shows. We hear as much respect as they'd expect is not being given to them. Is there a case to be made? Should we wait and say they have to be big before they're paid well?
No. That shouldn't be in the narrative. I think that it's about time. And you see, the problem is that event organizers in this country, some of them also want to take advantage of emerging artists.
Exactly. True.
You've gone for sponsors, you have money, you are paying, so especially when the Asaka guys who hear that you are paying these guys some level of money and you're not paying us.
Not giving them.
And we are also having some bangers in town. The people love us, the people want to see us.
They're the hottest thing right now.
You understand? Okay. So I feel that it's about that time. They have a case to some extent. They must really respect what they are doing, because at the end of the day, they go to the studio, they pay, they shoot music videos. Yeah. And if you watch their music videos, you notice that a lot goes into it. Yeah. The recording process, marketing, their music is everywhere. They don't just wake up to just post the song. They market it. So I feel that even if it is 2 CDs, let's say, make sure that you give it to them. And I'll plead with them. Our industry is different from the Western world. Probably they have someone in the Western world telling them that, yo, Charlie, you guys have to be boss. If you don't, go for the interviews. If you have any new record, go for the interviews. If you don't have any record and you want to just stay back, Sack will go for interview when he has a project. Yeah. Or probably if he has something to discuss about. If you want to build your brand that way, fine. But I feel that the industry should also protect some of these guys. Yeah, we should find a way to protect them.
Is there like, because I think a bigger conversation has to be had, because we've had numerous artists speak about maybe not being paid, and that's just one side of the coin. But you know, in the case of our brothers, you know, the Asaka boys, it seems like it's a whole thing. There's people are saying that they don't want to go for interviews, they're a bit reserved, they don't want to do features, and that's why I think people are having a problem.
And I've had I've had a conversation with some industry players, and they're also saying, especially artists. I watched or I listened to this guy's interview, Phase. Yeah. So the Asaka is like, it's a whole movement. So if you are going to feature one of them, probably they also like, are you going to feature all of us? Wow. If it's an event, are you picking only one guy? Probably, no. They want the whole, if you are coming to pick all of us, then event organizer, the money be small. How is the event organizer going to bring the whole Asaka guys? To pay all of them, because the money that you use to pay, say, Kwame Eugene, you can't pay the same amount to Asaka because these guys are like, they are 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think, 4 or 5 guys.
4 or 5.
And they're all good.
And yes, and the money their budget must go up. But I feel that this is one industry. I mean, they should understand some of these things. The industry must also respect their hustle, respect the fact that they market their music. If they have to pay them, they have to pay them. And they should avail themselves. Because at the end of the day, it is the media. It is the media. The media is pushing an agenda. Yeah. Look at the way the media pushed your talk, Kofi Jamal. Yeah. The love they got from the media.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Asaka is complaining because you're not getting all this love.
Yeah.
You're also not getting closer to the media. So the mindset, if the Asaka guys have the Western mindset, I'll plead with them. We love their music.
Kobe, I think with our job, right, you don't really have to put too much emotion into it. Or it's going to be very difficult.
I mentioned emotions.
Kobe, if you put emotion into this job.
And in our space, a lot of people add emotions.
Yeah.
In our space.
Yeah.
I can tell you someone has a problem with you just because you didn't attend his event.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've encountered that seriously. Yeah. Not because you intentionally decided not to go. Perhaps something just came your way and you said, oh, but to date, anytime your name is mentioned in the conversation,
they go
ball. Because, Jason, what's up?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we know that this person fits the criteria. There are a lot of concepts that the audience, the consumers, they need Asaka boys, but because of emotions, they will not. Somebody will just clear their names.
This conversation really has to be had, and I love the fact that we're taking it from the angle of everyone seems to be bashing the Asaka boys, but on this platform, we are trying to let people know that they also, to some extent, have a case. They have a point.
Exactly.
Because imagine if you're the manager, man. Like we need the money, and at the same time, a little bit of respect wouldn't hurt no one.
So. They should just put themselves together. We still love them. They should just sit back and watch the industry, how it's going. They should come. We still love them.
Yeah, we do.
Because it's the same industry that the DJs, MX24, you guys were playing their music. Yeah. So imagine you play their music all the time and you call for interview and they tell you that they are not going to come. Yeah. If you are not someone who is strong, you add emotions. They say that because I called for interview. And this thing is affecting a lot of artists.
It is.
When presenters call them for interview and they come late, they don't come, it becomes a problem. The entire career. I know a station who have blacklisted an artist just because he got there late.
Wow.
You're not being fair. You're not being fair to the artist. You're not being fair to the artist.
We're definitely going to have this conversation more. And I really love the angle you took it from. And I hope you can make some more time to talk to us, brother.
Every Wednesday, I'm here.
Yeah, I appreciate you so much. Please, where can you find you on social media, my brother?
So if you want to follow me, my Instagram is kobe.che. KOBBY.che. On Twitter is Kobe Che _ I'm verified on all platforms.
Yeah, let's just be clear. Let's just be clear.
Yes, so when you go on Instagram, Kobe Che, I'm verified. Twitter, I'm verified. Yeah. On Facebook, I'm verified. On my website, read the latest articles, www.kobechenews.com. Yeah. The latest articles, social issues, and of course, one of the things that I'm pushing currently is rent in this country. So if the government of Ghana is watching, let's find a way to make the youth of this country have somewhere to sleep. Rent is killing us. Let's try and build affordable housing units. It is killing us. And please, I've got a lot of
like payment plans and all of this.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. The rent control, please, you guys have to just wake up. God bless every youth in Ghana.
Definitely. And I told you guys, when it comes to MX Live, we're going to have these conversations where, social issues, cultural issues, entertainment stuff. And to have a guy like Kobe who's actually built it from the ground up. I mean, when I say me and this guy started,
he goes way back.
Me and this guy really started. And today we're here on this platform. And we're going to make sure you guys are always a part of the conversation.
And you don't grow, you're always the same.
I don't change it. I sleep early and I drink a lot of water. So that's what's happening. But Kobe, please follow him on social media. And guys, I'm going to be here tomorrow, same time from 3 to 4 p.m. This has been MX Live. Always stay tuned in to MX24 GH. Peace out.
If you're into content production for digital or TV, say hello to the MX24 Studios. We're the prime location for your music video shoots, live productions, TV shows, and more. From state-of-the-art equipment to a very skilled production team, we've got you covered. Step into our modern and spacious studio with a changeable lighting system and foolproof sound. Our touchscreen studio projection monitors come with other features, including Wi-Fi connection, screen mirroring, and a remote workspace mode. Take advantage of our high-quality cameras to shoot in 4K and a variety of the best lighting equipment guaranteed to put life into your sets. Located